Hey everyone, welcome to Post to Post. My name's Neil. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to tell you the top 10 teams in the NHL that I would like to play for if I was playing in the NHL. Obviously, not every NHL player gets their choice of who they play for. Sometimes they sign a contract with an okay team, and maybe they get traded to a bad team, or maybe they get traded to a good team. But I think secretly, all NHL players probably have like a top 5 at least of teams that they want to play for. It's just human nature, right? So I'm here to tell you my top 10. And obviously, I'm never going to play in the NHL, but we like to dream, right? So I'll just say this right away, so I don't sound like a broken record. A lot of my decisions are based on location geographically. I love to travel. I love different states and provinces and just geography in general, mountains and deserts and whatnot. So a lot of my decisions are based on that. Obviously, you're going to have a completely different list with completely different teams for completely different reasons. Everyone's list is going to be different. There's no real right or wrong. So let's get into it. Starting off with number 10. I've ranked these, by the way. Number 10, the Florida Panthers. Yeah, I think that, listen, they don't have the biggest fan base. Everybody knows that. A lot of, maybe not recently, but probably for about 7 or 8 years, at least from 2010 to 2018, is pretty desolate in the in the Florida Panthers arena. But the team has progressed a lot, and that really hasn't, attendance doesn't really have anything to do with it. I grew up playing minor hockey. We were the Panthers from like age 5, I guess, when I started playing on a hockey team to 12 or whatever, and then we switched to be called the Hitmen. But I was a Panther. Like, it's kind of in my blood. I'm used to calling myself a Panther. Not really. I mean, I don't now. That would be very strange if a grown man was calling himself a Panther. But as a kid, I grew up playing as a Panther. So I like the name. I love their jerseys, their brand, their logo. I don't like the current logo so much, but it's just okay. I like the previous logo, but I like their brand. So I think that would be a really good place to play, just for livability as well. I love Florida. It's one of my favorite states, top probably 3. I've been there. I've been to Florida more than any other states in the United States. So I definitely have a love for the state of Florida. So I think I would really like to play for Florida specifically over Tampa Bay, just because of probably jerseys and brand. That's really what it comes down to. All right, and then number 9 is the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, so it seems like a bit of an odd team to choose because of Melnyk, but my decision is based on hypothetically Melnyk not being the owner, okay? I live in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and one of the closest teams to me is the Ottawa Senators. It's on the border between, kind of on the border, I guess, between Quebec and Ontario. So I would have the opportunity to kind of go into Quebec if I wanted to, and as well Ontario, obviously. And it's a really nice city. I've been to Ottawa. I like it a lot, and it's close enough to here home that I could travel within a day and kind of get home. It would be a long drive, obviously, but I could still do it. So it's close enough to kind of get me around the area that I'm used to, which is Atlantic Canada. So it's probably a city that I would enjoy living in. It's like I said, it's very nice, and their New Jerseys are awesome. So I appreciate the direction that the brand is going in, which is kind of a rebrand to a previous generation of time during the team. But yeah, all right, moving on. Number 8, I put the San Jose Sharks, which is my second favorite team, and I love their jerseys. I love their logo. I think it's brilliant. Definitely one of the best in professional sports, not even just hockey. And I've been to San Jose. And I love California. And if I'm going to live in California, it's going to be Northern California. And not that San Jose is Northern California, but it's more north than LA and Anaheim. So it is San Jose that I would choose of the 3 Californian teams. And it's obviously my second favorite team, so I would love to play for them in general. And the area is really nice. San Francisco is like really, really busy, but across the bay in San Jose, it's a little less populated, a little bit easier to kind of get out and go into other parts of California. So I think I would enjoy playing for the San Jose Sharks, and I would enjoy living there. Okay, next up, number 7 is the New York Rangers. New York is probably my favorite city in the entire world. I've been there 2 or 3 times, and I just can't get enough of it. Like, I grew up in a small town of 1,000 people. So for me, going to a big city like New York City it's so alien to me. Like I spent the first 18 years of my life in a town with 1,000 people. I knew every single person's name basically who lived in the town. And then go to New York City. It's just like, what is this place? Like, this is incredible. You look up and all you see is, you can't even see like the top of the building because they're so high, and then you just look down the streets and it's just an endless, like, it's amazing. And there's so much to do in New York City, and the people are like, when obviously people have different experiences, but when I've been in New York City, people have been fantastic and really, really nice to me. I never really had a negative experience in New York City, so I think the people are very underrated in New York City, at least the ones that I interacted with. So I think it would be definitely a different change to live in New York City, but it would be really interesting for maybe like a couple of years. Maybe I wouldn't choose this team to play for long term, but maybe just a couple of years. So definitely the New York Rangers. Number 6, might shock a couple of people, the Arizona Coyotes. Not really a team with a lot of success in the NHL, but this is mainly due to geography. Arizona is an absolutely unbelievably incredible state. I love their state flag. That's awesome. Their brand is definitely nice. The Kachina is obviously incredible, but Arizona as a state is more diverse than you think. I think when people think about Arizona, it's just like a big desert. That's not true. Like that, northern Arizona there's a lot of trees, okay, and there's a lot of different kind of landscapes in Arizona, and a lot of really interesting history in Arizona as well. So I really, really appreciate the state specifically, not so much like Phoenix or Glendale or whatever, any specific city within Arizona, but the state as a whole is pretty fantastic. So I would choose Arizona. And number 5, I chose the Vegas Golden Knights. So the heat is the only really negative for me. I don't care about this, the Las Vegas Strip. That's cool and stuff, but I don't really care about that. Las Vegas is just in this really awesome location where, number one, Nevada is really cool. I love Nevada. But you can get to like different parts of the western United States really easily. You can zip into California. You can go north into Reno and then up that way. You can go over to Arizona, and there's so many different things, like places you can go in every direction to kind of get to something new. So I really appreciate this location. Also, of all the cities that I've been in the United States, Las Vegas has the nicest people that I've ever met. And every single person that I've met there was fantastic. Now, I was crossing the street once, and behind me there was a guy that got completely knocked out. Some guy with no shirt just decked him, and I don't know what it was about, but it was completely random in front of like hundreds of people. I got a picture of it. I could maybe show it. Maybe I shouldn't show it. I don't know, but it was a very interesting experience. But other than that, I had a really good time in Las Vegas. I don't love some of the decisions that the team has made, but I have come to really love their brand and the people in Vegas. So, thumbs up. Number 4, the Vancouver Canucks. Definitely not one of my favorite teams, but British Columbia is an unbelievable province. I don't necessarily like Vancouver City that much, but Victoria is amazing over on Vancouver Island, and northern BC is awesome, and you kind of go into the mountains towards Alberta. Like that whole area, the whole province is just so beautiful, and it would be a really nice place to live. And Vancouver specifically gets more rain than snow. Like the rest of Canada gets pelted with snow. It's more so just kind of rain in Vancouver. So that would be a nice little break. I live in Atlantic Canada, where some winters we get absolutely dumped on. So it would be nice to maybe avoid that for at least a couple of winter seasons. So Vancouver is definitely someplace that I would like to live and a team I'd like to play for. Number 3, Calgary. Calgary is probably my favorite city in Canada. I don't really know why. It's not really because it's easy to get around, although it is kind of easy to get around. I just get this kind of home vibe from Calgary. I've never lived there. I've only visited there twice, and once was only for like 2 days, and the other time was for a week, which is really nice. But I feel at home in Calgary, and I don't necessarily know why. It's just kind of a gut feeling that I get from when I visit there. And they have a lot of really cool things to do there. The zoo is awesome. A bunch of other stuff and around the city and whatnot. Nice places to live around, and it's close to the mountains. Like you're only 45 minutes from Banff or whatever it is, or 50 minutes. I don't know what it is, but you're close. You can see the mountains right from Calgary. So that is a lot of, like, as a photographer, that is a really good opportunity for me to zip into the mountains or zip in for a camping adventure or something. So location wise and city wise, I would love to live there. Team wise, I like this retro brand that's going on. I think I have one of their jerseys back there behind me. Heck yeah, I am all for the retro brand Calgary Flames. So I would love to wear that jersey and be part of that team. Okay, number 2, I put Seattle. Number 1, they're a completely brand new team, so that's awesome. I would love to kind of be a part of that, be a part of the brand growing. Number 2, Washington State is amazing. Like I'm talking a lot about geography here, and I apologize, but they're my reasons. This is why I choose these teams. Washington is an unbelievable state. I wish I could spend more time there. I've only been there once, and I was a kid. But every vlogger that I've watched that has gone there, and every just video in general and documentaries that I've watched, I really, really want to go back to Washington. I think it would be really interesting to live there, close to some awesome mountains like Mount Rainier, and just there seems like a lot of really good things for my lifestyle to do in Seattle. It's close to the water. There's lots of camping. There's mountains. There's hiking. There's I really like outdoor stuff, so I think Seattle would be a really interesting place to live. Also, it's really close to the Canadian border, and as a Canadian, I appreciate the close access to get back to my country. Number 1, if you know me, if you've been following the channel for a while, this is probably incredibly predictable. It's the Colorado Avalanche. I would really love to play for the Colorado Avalanche. I love their logo. I love their jerseys. I love their brand. They've been one of my favorite teams growing up as a kid. Still are basically one of my favorite teams. And I like the lineup. I like the players they have. I would love to play alongside them. But this is really all about location for me. Colorado is my favorite state. I've technically been there, but I haven't seen Colorado. I've been in the airport, okay? I don't know if that counts or not, but Dad quantifies being in a state by, if you got arrested, which jail would you go to? And it would be, I would leave the airport and they would take me to a jail in Colorado. So technically I've left the airport, and so that's kind of how he measures that. So I do consider me being in Colorado before, but I don't consider myself seeing Colorado. But it's still my favorite state. Like it has everything for me, literally everything, and it's in a really cool location too. Kind of like Vegas, you can kind of zip in all different directions and go to different landscapes and different things. So yeah, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, but I still love it. Like I love it, and the state flag is awesome. So Colorado's my number 1. And I would like to know your list down below in the comment section too. If you have a couple of minutes and you want to leave your top 10 or even top 5, and list the cities in order and give some reasons, I would love to read through them. And maybe there's some cities out there like Columbus. Columbus is an interesting city with a lot of history. Tell me about it. If you think I'm wrong in any of my choices, let me know. Tell me a city that I left out and say, hey, maybe consider this next time. Maybe you should consider playing for this team because this city has this, or these players are yada, or this state has this. I'd love to learn more about maybe your hometown or your favorite team or your favorite state. Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button down below for more hockey videos, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Adios.